the aspect of when you do something like Joker or like Albert Sparma, you're spending time in kind of a dark place. The materials, the research, can start to have an effect on, it can start to creep into your dreams at some point.
How does it feel to get so much award chatter for a great performance in a movie like The Little Things? And you were in that movie, Denzel, and it was just, you morphed into that character. How do you feel about all the recognition?
It's incredible. I mean, first of all, let's just talk about Denzel Washington for a second. One of my heroes. I mean, I don't know what it is about him in particular that I keyed into as a young actor, but I always wanted to see what he was going to do next, And I get, like, from Glory to now, he's just, and even before that, and I guess in St. Elsewhere and all that stuff, he's always great. He always surprises you. And for me, I've watched his career with great interest because I think he's one of the few actors that has really had that much consistency, and really, he really puts his full body and heart and soul into every performance that he does. So this film was like, just the Denzel of it all was enough reward for me and enough to make me want to say yes to the project.
I feel like you just described yourself, though, because you play these characters that are so complex. You surprise us every time. You bring us something different. What is it that goes into your work that you can change? You're like this chameleon who can, like, peel off the layers.
Performance anxiety, probably. Just now, I always feel like the harder that you work, the greater, the deeper the reward, and the deeper the more you learn. And I love a good challenge. So for me, I've found that transformative roles, transformative opportunities have been kind of a sweet spot for me. It really has taught me so much about really just about life in general. But I enjoy taking on a role that's a huge challenge, a role that's a problem to solve.
Mm-hmm. Hey, how much of your music, your filmmaking as behind the camera, and then being in front of the camera, you have all these different little pots that you pick in, does that play into your different characters and how you approach different projects?
Well, I think that everything you do probably teaches you about everything else that you do. And I learn a lot as a musician. It's a really tactile thing. You can see a guitar behind me. That actually wasn't placed there. That was just an accident. And, but it's something that's a really, it's a regular part of my life. I'm always writing songs. I've spent a lot of time standing on stages around the world, and that teaches you about communication. It teaches you about creativity, I suppose. So, I learned a lot from that, and then I'm able to kind of take a break from film for a while and then come back with, kind of renewed excitement and passion. And, I feel really, really lucky, I'll tell you, to be able to do these things. Really, really, really lucky.
I want to ask you about what you're shooting now. And we don't know a lot about this movie and your character. What can you tell us about the character, working with Gaga, and what's going on in Italy?
Yeah, I guess we should say that I'm in Rome now, and working on the House of Gucci, the Gucci film that the one and only Ridley Scott is directing. Again, one of my favorite directors ever, with just a cast that I'm blown away to be a part of. I mean, there's Lady Gaga, or as I call her, Lady Gaga, while I'm here, but the Queen herself, and just a terrific creative person and a great actress. And Adam Driver's in the film. Again, just a phenomenal actor. Al Pacino, Jeremy Irons, and on and on. And it's just a stellar cast. So I feel really lucky to be a part. But it's the story of Gucci, which a lot of people, I didn't really even know. And I work with closely with Gucci for many years now, but it's a wild one.
Hey, are you and Gaga thinking about any music together?
I think that we're so probably both of us are so buried with the work in front of us. Like, the guitar is getting lonely over there. I picked it up, but I felt like I was cheating a little bit on my character work, and we're in full prep mode right now. Usually this is the time that I get really quiet before a film, but I'm so thrilled at the response, really honored about the Little Things reception and the fact that people found, they found something in Albert Smarma that was compelling. That was, and that's just a great feeling. It's a great, 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 great feeling. And I just, again, I'm just blown away. Tons of gratitude.
Well, I think it's that you don't really know with Albert, like we never know. That movie ends, you never really know about Albert. And that's the beauty that you built in these complexities that made it feel like everyday real life, where you never really know. You see these guys and you say, killer, not killer?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of ambiguity, and I think that's what makes it challenging and special. And it was wild to play for me. I dove pretty deep. It was a very physical challenge, big physical transformation. I had there was a lot going on, but it was really, I had a blast as well. It was dark at times, a bit tough psychologically. Took its toll, spending a lot of time on the darker side of the universe with, FBI transcripts and talking with people who live this day in, day out, and, kind of getting inside the mind of people that have committed crimes and things like that. But it was a wild one, man.
You went pretty dark with the Joker, and we're going to get to see a little more of the Joker now in the new Justice League series, because you weren't in the movie, but now they're going to bring those scenes back. How's that, and what will we see, and how much darker do you go?
It was I was on lockdown for so long. It was like a secret I had to keep for so long. It feels funny to even talk about it, but I was really excited to work with Zack Snyder. I've been a fan of his for a long time, and he just knows that world like nobody else. I mean, he may know it better than anybody because he's in so deep with it, and for so many years, and he cares so deeply about the character. He cares so much about the fans. And to me, again, I was happy to kind of be a part of his journey and retelling that story and telling it the way that he always dreamed of. And, it was fun to dip my toe into that character again, and to work with Zach and company.
Do any of these characters, how do you shake these characters off? Because you go dark and you get into it. How do you shake them off?
Well, it's always a funny thing to talk about because it sounds a bit bizarre, but I would explain it like this. Anything that you make a habit of, like I'm going to be speaking with an Italian accent in this film,
right?
Which is a lot of fun, obviously. But if you do it enough, it starts to, it becomes a habit, because really just you're retraining your mouth and your muscles in your face and stuff. And so sometimes habits take a little while to wear off. There's also the aspect of when you do something like Joker or like Albert Sparma, you're spending time in kind of a dark place. The materials, the research, it can start to have an effect on, it can start to creep into your dreams at some point. And for anybody that's like binge watched, how to make a murder 1 and 2, or, at a certain point you're like, you need a break.
You play and you morph into all these characters, but sometimes do you just want to be you? And do people, get to ever see you, the real,
I don't think I would know what to do. I have to learn I have to approach it like a character part. It's a good question. And I think in Morbius, we'll get to see a little bit closer to, how I speak day in and day out, how I move a little bit more. I mean, that I'm super excited. That's a Marvel Sony project. It's a brand new Marvel character who's never been on screen before. So that was a blast. And I play a doctor who's searching for a cure for his disease, who's very sick and frail and at the edge of his life, at the end of his life. And then he gets strong and healthy, and then there's a monstrous aspect as well. So that I'm psyched about too. But yeah, that would be nice. A little rom-com on the beach in Hawaii, or 29 Palms, where that's okay too. And a little rock climbing, a little hiking, laughs, jokes.